Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Data Analytics with Divya. Today in this video I'm going to talk about an interesting topic. Why SQL? Why not Excel? Previously I have uploaded one video on introduction to SQL in which I have explained about what is SQL and what is database with examples and about applications of SQL. If you are new to my channel, I'm placing that video link in the description box. Please check it out. And without any further delay, let's get started into today's video. So, why SQL? Why not Excel? We all know that we use Excel to store the data, right? And of course, SQL is also used to store the data and perform some operations in databases. Now the question is, if we are able to store the data in Excel easily, then what is the need of databases? If anyone had this question in your mind, let me tell you some of the reasons why we prefer using SQL or databases instead of Excel. Now let me show some sample data in Excel. Let's assume I'm selling electronic products online and I wanted to store the data in Excel. Whenever I sell any order, there will be an order ID generated, right? So these are the details I wanted to store. This is order ID, order date, customer ID, customer name, address, product ID, product name, price, supplier ID, supplier name, and manufacturer name. Now let's see the data. My order ID is 1. This is the order date. And my customer name is John with customer ID C1. He lives in lane 1. He brought a product TV with product ID P1. The price of the TV is 75,000 and these are supplier details and it is from Samsung. Okay. In the same way, I have few more orders who have ordered some products. Okay. Now, this is how if I store and manage data within Excel, what are the limitations and challenges Excel can have? First and foremost challenge we can have in Excel is Excel has data limit. In Excel, we can store up to 1 million rows only. You cannot store more than 1 million rows. So we will face a storage issue. In real time, as we all know, we will deal with big data, right? But we cannot store more than 1 million records in Excel. And second challenge is performance issue. As the data size increases, performance goes down. If the data size is small, then it is well and good. But if you want to store thousands of data or lakhs of data, we will get performance issue. And the next challenge is accessibility of data. In Excel, if we want to see any particular data, we need to apply lot of filters to get that data. And we will take lot of time in order to bring that data. And the next challenge is data redundancy and wastage of memory. If you see in this data, in product name column, I'm capturing the data again and again, right? That is a smartphone. It is repeating many times. And in supplier name column and the manufacturer name column is also data is repeating again and again, correct? So by repeating the data again and again, it leads to the wastage of memory, right? For example, if I talk about firms like Amazon or Flipkart, they would be selling millions of similar products on daily basis. And if they keep on storing smartphone, there will be, if they are keep on storing the data again and again, there will be the memory wastage, right? So that's where we need better data management system. So instead of storing data like this, if I store the customer data in a separate table, see. Now I'm storing a separate table called as customer details table. Okay, in which I'm storing this customer ID, customer name, and address columns here. Okay. So what I did, I just created one more table here with the name customer details and I stored customer ID, customer name, and address columns in this table. Now, do you I need to store the customer name and address columns in the above table? No, right? I will just remove customer name and address columns from the above table. But I will keep customer ID column as it is. Now, from the first table, I can see customer ID C1. He purchased TV. And from the below table, I can see C1 details, right? Like his name is John and he lives in lane 1, right? And if suppose if C1 comes again, see here, if C1 comes again and if he purchased smartphone, from the first table I can understand he came again, C1 came again and he purchased smartphone, and from the below table I can understand the details of C1, right? He is John and he lives in lane 1, correct? I'm still able to understand everything, right? Similarly, I can make another table for supplier details here. Let me create another table here, like with the table name as a supplier details, and in that let me keep supplier ID and supplier name columns. But here if you observe S2 and AM traders, and I am removing all the other data, correct? If you observe, I don't need to write supplier name again and again, correct? I can simply write two names here, as there are only two suppliers, S1 and S2, correct? Now from the above table, whenever I see the supplier ID, from the below table I can see the supplier name, right? See, instead of writing supplier name again and again, I just created another table called as supplier details, and I just gave the supplier name only once. Now I can remove supplier name from the above table, and I am keeping supplier ID as it is, correct? So that whenever we see supplier ID here, we can understand and the supplier name from the below table, correct? So in this way, by storing data in different tables or by breaking the data into smaller chunks, I can overcome the problem of data repetition, correct? Previously, the data is repeating again and again. In supplier name column, the data is repeating again and again. But if I store the details in separate table, I overcome that problem, correct? In the same way, I can create another table for product details, correct? Let me create another table for product details, in which I will keep product ID, product name, and manufacturer name here, correct? Right? Here also in the same way, see, here P2 is smartphone, right? And it is 1 plus. So no need of writing this data again. This is all the similar data. I can just simply remove the data from here, and I can write only 3 rows here because there are only 3 products for us, P1, P2 and P3, correct? So now I can remove here product name column from the first table, and I can remove manufacturer name column, correct? But I'm keeping product ID as it is, right? Now I have 4 tables. The first table is my basic table, the second is customer details table, the third one is supplier details table, and the fourth one is product details table, correct? So by storing the data like this, data repetition problem is solved. And if you observe somewhere, all the tables are linked with each other, correct? I mean, there is some common information I have in the tables, like in customer details table I have customer ID, and in my base table also I have customer ID. In the same way I have product ID, supplier ID and supplier ID, correct? These all the tables will be linked to each other so that we can understand the remaining data, correct? So by the storing the data like this, the data repetition problem is solved, correct? And this is the way how we store the data in SQL, okay? Now the biggest issue in Excel is data consistency and data integrity. For example, in the column of price, the price column I can write anything. Suppose instead of 40,000 here I can write high as well, right? It will not stop me in order to do that. Excel won't throw any error or it won't stop me in entering any irrelevant data, correct? I can write anything like hello or anything. Excel is not throwing any error whenever I am trying to enter any invalid data, correct? Now here, if suppose I sold another order, as you all know, I have 8 orders so far, and if I if I sold another order, let me enter the details. Okay, order ID is 9. Suppose the order ID is 9, and let me enter any order date randomly, D24, and the customer ID is a C9, product ID is P1, and the price is 75,000. Supplier ID is S1. Okay. Now this information that I have captured here, is it correct or wrong? Have a look at the data. See, this is wrong. Whatever I have entered here is wrong, because I have customer ID C9, but I don't have customer ID C9 in customer details table, correct? So I don't know the customer name and address of C9. So where will I deliver this order? Correct? So if you think here right now, Excel has not stopped me from entering this data. Excel just allowed me to enter whatever I want. Correct? Technically, the system should throw me an error that first put C9 details in customer details table and then put the C9 details in the base table. Correct? So this is called as data integrity, where my system should be such robust that it should not allow me to enter any wrong data. That's where we need databases. Okay. In database, we will store the data in multiple tables as is shown here. And if I try to enter any details in main table, which is not there in the customer table, customer details table, or the the child tables, it will throw me an error. So these are all the problems which we will face while using Excel. In short, let me name the challenges once again. First is data size limit, that is we can store up to only 1 million records in Excel. Second, performance issues, that is as data increases, performance decreases. Third is accessibility of data. As I said, we need to use many filters to get the data or to display the data in Excel, right? And next, data redundancy, that is repetition of data due to which we face memory wastage. And next, data consistency and data integrity. Here, data consistency and data integrity is almost same. That is, system should throw an error if we enter any invalid or irrelevant data, right? So these are all the challenges which we will face in Excel, and all these challenges will be overcome by using databases or SQL. This is why we prefer using SQL rather than Excel. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys understood about the challenges of Excel and how we will overcome that with SQL. If you are new to my channel, for more videos on SQL and data analytics, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like my content, please do like and share the videos to any data analyst aspirants. Thank you.